Breath is rather a peculiar thing in that as soon as you say to yourself, I want to watch my breath, the breath changes. With regard to our yoga practice, what you experience with the breath is not merely the air that goes in and out of your lungs, but you want to experience the effect of that in your pelvic and abdominal area. We call that Apana Vayu. The breath that goes in and out of your lungs is called Prana Vayu. Apana Vayu is the effect of that breath on your pelvic and abdominal area. And you want to sense that as deeply as possible. Meaning, when you inhale, what is the effect on the pelvic floor? To experience that, I don't want you to take particularly deep breaths, but see that the breath is comfortable. Up to your diaphragm, from the top of the chest up to the diaphragm, you can feel the effect of breath, air that goes in and out, in your lungs, on the skin around that also. Below that, the way the Apana Vayu moves is, if you consider your spine, on the two sides of the vertebral column, you should sense a movement of that Apana Vayu going down as you inhale, coming up as you exhale. Automatically, most people learning or doing this posture without that attention will be tucking the pelvis. The movement of the Apana Vayu going down to the pelvic floor is felt much better if you untuck the pelvis. So I would like to look at what is tucking and untucking of the pelvis a little more. Come out of the posture. When you sit like this, taking support of the wall, you want to drop down as far as you can, a posture that you can hold for a longer period. Okay? And then here, tuck. When you tuck, it's like taking the sit bone under you more, towards the knee. Your lumbar goes to the wall. When you untuck, the lumbar comes away from the wall. Okay? Just that part. Unnecessary struggle in the posture will be if you activate your tongue or facial muscles to do that. Completely unnecessary. But tuck and untuck. When you tuck, the sit bone moves under you, as I said, towards the knee, as it were. When you untuck, the sit bone moves away from you. Even more sensation that you can sense more readily is when you tuck, your lumbar goes towards the wall. When you untuck, the lumbar moves away from the wall. When you are seated in Virasana, it's easy to untuck. But in Baddha Konasana, it's not that easy to untuck. That's why in Baddha Konasana, we begin by teaching people to sit on a height, like you were doing earlier. And come out. To come out of that position, never twist to the side. Okay? Push your hands to the wall and come out. So the feet are more or less in the same position as you had when sitting against the wall. Then tuck. Tuck meaning, see that your lumbar goes to the floor motion. And then untuck. Do that several times. So the terminology I am using becomes very clear to you. Tuck and untuck. Now see if you can sense the next step. When you tuck, the Apana Vayu becomes more shallow, doesn't go as deep. When you untuck, that Apana Vayu, that sensation of abdominal breath, becomes more of a pelvic breath. When you tuck, the sit bones move towards each other. When you untuck, the sit bones move away from each other. So in light of that understanding, in Tadasana, what is correct amount of tucking? You will tuck and you will untuck. Both you can do in Tadasana. What is correct? That sensation becomes a little better if you put your hand on the pelvis like that, both hands. When the sit bones move away from each other, your hip bones move towards each other. So with your fingers, you can push the hip bones towards each other. When you tuck, the sit bones move towards each other, but the hip bones move away from each other. Correct sensation of Tadasana to most beginners is this. I untuck as much as I can. See that the hip bones move towards each other. If my thumbs are like this, the thumbs move away from each other. But then, holding that posture, I begin to, from untucking position, I begin to tuck slowly. Never completely tuck in Tadasana. So even without my hands there, I want to have a sense that when I untuck, the hip bones move towards each other. When I tuck, the hip bones are resisted from moving away from each other. So sense of white space in the sacrum remains. That white space in the sacrum you want in every single posture, including backwards.